Vlogmas, day 7. So for day 7, I didn't record much footage during the day, so I thought instead what I'd do something a little different. Any knitters on Instagram have probably seen those little blank templates going around, like in their Instagram stories. It's like a knitter's would you rather or this or that. So I thought I'd kind of rip off that idea and just do one right here for you. I didn't come up with any of these on my own. I was just kind of remembering from a whole bunch of different templates I've seen. I got the idea today because Brooklyn Tweed had one, and I took a couple from theirs, but a couple that I remembered from just a whole bunch of other different ones. Number 1, lace or cables? Well, probably cables. I'm not averse to lace at all, but I am really drawn to cables. Cables over lace. But I still like lace, don't get me wrong. Wood needles or metal needles? Metal needles. I love my Chiagus. They're my favorite. Caitlin Hunter or Andrea Mowry, both knitwear designers. My first instinct is to say Caitlin Hunter. I've never knit a pattern by either of them, but I really want to knit a Tecumseh, and I have several different sweaters quantities that would work for a Tecumseh, and I want one so bad. But I also have, I think, 3 different Andrea Mowry patterns in my Ravelry queue. I have the Marley shawl, the Raina shawl, and the Birds of a Feather shawl. So there are 3 shawls, none of her sweater designs or anything else. Just the fact that I have more of Andrea Mowry's patterns in my queue, I'm gonna say Andrea Mowry. Even though really I want it to come some more than I want those patterns probably. Coffee or tea? Neither. I'm not a beverage drinker, it doesn't interest me. I pretty much just drink water. Sweater or socks? Well, sweater. Definitely sweater. However, I almost always have a pair of socks ready to go for knitting out. If I'm gonna be somewhere where I'm gonna be easily distracted, socks. But sweater. The next 3 are, in my mind, are kind of related. We have knitting flat versus knitting in the round, seamless or seamed, meaning your sweaters, do you like seams, bottom up and top down. I think those are all related because to me, with a sweater, if it's in the round, it's not gonna have seams. I don't mind seams in any way, shape, or form. I think I've probably constructed more garments, more sweaters seamed, but I don't mind in the round either. I would probably say if it's just stockinette in the round, anything else flat. If it's just stockinette, then seamless, anything else seamed. Just stockinette, doesn't matter. Top down, bottom up, doesn't matter. But socks, top down. I've only ever done top down socks. I'm not really interested at this point in time in doing toe up socks. Printed pattern or digital pattern? I'm not really sure what this means. I guess printed, because I don't mind buying a digital pattern, but I always print it off. So does that mean printed pattern? Because I know you can buy printed patterns, but I'll buy a digital pattern, no problem, but print it off. I always work from a printed pattern, but I buy mostly digital patterns. So knitting at home or knitting in public? At home, definitely. I'm too easily distracted and prone to making mistakes when I'm in public. I'll take my knitting out. Like, I knit during church all the time, like every week. I don't really go to the movies, but if we go to a movie or any sort of theater sort of experience, I'll take knitting with me. So I'm not averse to that, but definitely home is where I get my knitting done. Are you a product knitter or a process knitter? I think I'm kind of 50-50. I love keeping my hands busy. If I'm listening to something, it really helps me focus, and I listen a lot better when my hands are moving. So in that sense, I'm a process knitter. I also really like having a finished object. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to browse patterns and imagine having that finished object for me to wear right then and there. With socks, it's more of a process knit. With sweaters, it's probably more of a product knit. I mean, I enjoy knitting them, but like, I really want the finished sweater. Monogamous knitter or multiple whips, multiple works in progress? I always have multiple projects, but It's usually 2 or 3 at the most. The third one is usually like a long-term timeout project. And the second one is usually sock, and the first one is usually sweater. So I'm mostly monogamous. I'll mostly just work on one project. I get stressed if I have multiple things that aren't finished laying around, and I'm pretty stubborn. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm like, no, I have to finish this. Like, I can't let it linger because it stresses me out knowing it's just sitting there. And I also know that if I step away from something too long, I just completely lose my interest. And I know that at some point I was really excited about it, and I will be excited about it again, so I just need to chug through and finish it. I would definitely lean more towards monogamous knitting in comparison to a lot of other knitters I've seen who have like 5, 10, 15 or more whips on the needles. I don't work that way. Also, I don't have that many needles. I purposely do not buy more needles. I don't want that to encourage me to be able to leave something and put it aside and work on something else. If I need the needle, then I have to finish the project that needle is on for the most part. That's the rule. Fingering weight or bulky weight yarn? I would say neither. I think my favorite is worsted weight. I love knitting sweaters out of worsted weight. For me, if you're gonna have a warm, cozy sweater, you want it to be a warm, cozy sweater, so it's gonna be worsted weight. That being said, I've knit several fingering weight sweaters, and those are delightful as well. But worsted is just a lot more satisfying. And bulky is a little bit too, I like bulky okay, but worsted is probably my ideal. And then the last one is a simple one, English or continental. That's the style of knitting you are. I'm English, I'm a thrower. I tension my yarn with my right hand and I throw. So that is my knitters this or that / would you rather. Because when you see those templates on Instagram, you're like, wait a minute, I picked this one, but there's a reason. And you like want to be able to explain your reasoning, so that's why I thought this would be fun to do today. So thanks for joining me for Vlogmas Day 7. Bye.